trial that.
Collection of world participants we have with us this morning. Welcome to our 2023 Economic and Trade Forum Conference.
Thank you to Shinflex Media.
Well, I want to thank for organizing this fantastic forum.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
谢谢大家，
感谢，
谢谢，谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
谢谢
you.
By thanking Mr. Patrick on this year's Economic and Trade Forum.
It's been such a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed delegates, welcome to the 2023 Fall Economic and Trade Summit, and co-hosted by the Shinflex Entrepreneur Club, Shinflex Media Group, and Canadian Chinese Financial Association and Justin Poi Agency, and the title sponsored by Equiton, supported by Fuwa, Aimstar Simple Solution, Financial Solution, and Nail Battery Materials, and Fontai. And we are gathered here today in the spirit of collaboration and progress, and building upon our 2023 Spring Summit. And we're going to embark on a new journey of the innovation and collaborations to promote economic and trade growth. And I am Maggie Han. I'm so honored to be the MC, to be the opening ceremony of this significant event. 各位女士、先生们，各位贵宾，大家早上好！欢迎大家莅临参加由新动力企业家俱乐部、新动力传媒携手家中金融协会和 Justin Poi Agency 共同打造的本年度又一年度经贸盛会2023秋季经贸高峰论坛。我是主持人韩笑。那今天呢，我们看到我们新动力演播大厅是星光熠熠、精英荟萃。那我们共聚一堂，在此呢，也特别感谢我们的Linda王妈妈特别从中国远道而来，还有我们从温哥华加拿大华人联合总会的会长以及执行会长牛华先生和 Peter 傅先生啊，从温哥华 CCAS the representative coming all the way to Toronto。那同时呢，也欢迎所有我们本地的华人华侨的各个社团的代表，我们的经贸界的精英领袖，以及我们的媒体代表。那么我们也希望继我们上一次2023大家看到的春季高峰论坛成功的基础之上呢，继续携手开启创新、共谋发展的一个新的征程。那接下来呢，在为期3天的论坛当中呢，我们将聚焦新时代跨境贸易、教育、消费以及投资趋势等4大主题，也共同和大家勾勒一个多彩的新时代的经贸图景。So over the following 3 days, we're going to explore the topics ranging from international trade to the post-pandemic education, from the new consumer patterns and to the future investment trend. Through our keynote speeches, panel discussions, and networking sessions, we aim to create an atmosphere that nurtures creativities, sparks innovations, and also foster further cooperations. Before we delved into the depths of the discussion and engaged in the fruitful conversation, let's just take a moment to acknowledge all the efforts that from our brilliant and dedicated individuals who have made today's summit possible. And without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Patrick Hong, the CEO of the Shinflex Media Group, to address the opening remarks. 掌声有请新动力传媒代表 CEO 代表我们的集团主席 Patrick 洪先生致开言词。
Thank you. Honorable Marine Minister, thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Shinflex Media, it is a great honor and pleasure to welcome everybody attending 2023 Autumn Economic and Trade Summit. Nervous. Building upon the success of our Spring Summit, this event marks a significant milestone in our efforts. This summit provides a unique platform for us to exchange ideas, explore opportunity, and address the challenge that our economic face in this landscape. We are fortunate enough to have the Honorable Minister of Export Promotion, International Trade, and Economic Development, Minister Marian, present today, along with valuable Canadian government leaders. Consul General of El Salvador, Ms. Hazel, thank you for attending. Former Consul General Don from Guyana, thank you for coming. Our Consular Amanda Kuruji, thank you. Well, and all the Latino American countries, Chambers of Commerce leaders, thank you so much for attending. I'm confident that over the 3 days this summit, we will engage in product discussion, share valuable, inspire, and meaningful connection. Together, we can provide a way of innovation solution and cost function that will drive economic growth and trade relations among our countries. I would like to express my gratitude to all the leaders, speakers, sponsors, and everybody in Pacific this event. I would like to say thank you to all, and especially thank you to Symphony Media, our founder of the Symphony Entrepreneur Club, Mr. James Wong. Your support is making this event a success. Thank you. And of course, our current chair of Symphony Entrepreneur Club, Mr. Victor Go. Thank you for your support and your help and make this event so success. Well, special thank you for all of our attendance. Let's have a great summit and enjoy the rest of the speaker. Thank you. I got a special thank you, our Honorable Chair for Symphony Entrepreneur Club, Ms. Linda Wong, and then all the way from China to New York, and then New York to here, just attending this event. Well, may I just first invite Linda Wong to come and do a few speech so that Mary can able to hear a little bit before you gotta leave. Thank you.
亲爱的国家贸易部长玛丽安，是称女士啊，还有我们的塞尔瓦多的刚刚我认识的总领啊，我们呢就是所有的企业家们、朋友们，大家好，我7月份来过一次新动力这个俱乐部，跟大家很多呢都认识的是朋友了。这一次呢，我上次答应了大家，我说我要一定参加这一次的秋季的经贸论坛。来这里呢，主要是也想跟我们多伦多的企业家们，还有我们的这个各位朋友再次见面。这也是一个对我来说很难得的机会，谢谢大家。我首先呢也介绍我自己是谁，我是中国侨联的常委。也是中国侨商联合会的常务副会长。我们在上个月刚刚又在换届选举完，我荣幸的再次第4次当选，也是我们中国侨联还有我们中国领导各位侨商们给我的荣誉。我这次来呢，我也是美中关系全国委员会教育委员会的副会长。我也是怡海集团董事局主席，这是我3个今天在这里跟大家说我的职务。首先呢，很荣幸呢，我参加了这一次2023年的经贸高峰论坛的开幕式。目前，国际经济合作的格局正在加速的重组，全球化的进程的形态在不断的发展。在整个多元化、开放性和互相依赖的时代，国际经济贸易合作的重要性日益凸显。在这种背景下呢，本次秋季的经贸高峰论坛召开具有重大的意义。慈善和教育是我们推动多元化社会和谐进步的动力。怡海集团30年来持续地耕耘慈善和教育的事业， 我在中国的贫困山区在资助了许多学校，叫怡海树人班的项目，还资助了正桥班，还帮助了学生超过5000多人次，设立了怡海树人奖学金，并在这种精准教育扶贫的模式和复制下，我们推广到中国11个省。2008年，怡海集团负责援建北川中学的项目，建成了一座集全球73个国家的华人华侨，共83万人华人的慈善之力的校园，并在世界各地组织陆续的捐建的物资，出版了义卖爱在北川学子营的图书等慈善活动。我们携手北京市西城教育委员会，发起了北川中学6年的支教工作，到今年15年了。我们在援建和支教的过程中，将北川中学从薄弱的落后山区的中学建成了整个西南地区教育的名校。怡海集团连续5年资助美国优秀高中毕业生，就是美国总统奖学金的获得者，访华公益活动，在两国的青少年了解的同时，增进了友谊，向这些优秀的能够成为日后美国社会中坚力量的青少年展现了一个真正的中国。今年9月，我在马来西亚打造了绿色智慧城市的产业经济生态圈，叫做绿质地球的项目的正式启动。这是一个全球性的国际的联合全世界许多国家一起参与的这个公益和慈善绿色环保的一个项目，将在长期资助5家世界级非营利慈善机构的运作经费，为后代留下一个美好的可持续的世界。本次论坛为大家提供了一个相互交流、合作、进步的平台。衷心的祝愿本次经贸高峰论坛取得圆满成功，各位嘉宾在此能够充分的交流、深入的合作的共同开创更加美好的未来。谢谢大家。
Thank you so much, and thanks for the inspiring sharing. 谢谢王妈妈热情洋溢、激励人心的这个致辞。我们知道，王妈妈作为我们中国侨商联合常务副会长、美中关系全国委员会教育委员会的副会长、怡海集团的董事局的主席，那更重要的身份和 title 就是我们新动力企业家俱乐部的荣誉主席。那今天呢，不远万里来参加我们的聚会，也希望呢能够在这个不断演变的国际贸易和经济格局当中，将我们所有人团结在一起，促进并且跨越国际和文化去进行这个合作。Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and the esteemed delegation, it is my great honor to introduce the next remarkable leader who has been the driving force behind Canada's economic growth and international trade initiative. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Minister Mary Ng, the Canada's Minister of the Export Promotion, International Trade and Economic Development on stage.
Good morning, everybody. Patrick, thank you very much, and thank you to Sinflex for organizing this really important gathering of what I see around the room of Canadian businesses and Canadian entrepreneurs in this wonderful new club called the Entrepreneur Club that is hoping to grow great Canadian companies, create great Canadian jobs, and of course, I hope here in Markham Thornhill, which is the wonderful riding that I represent. But let me begin by doing a land acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge that we are all gathered on the traditional territory of many Indigenous nations, including the Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, the Wendat people, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. It's important for us to always take the opportunity to understand that the Indigenous peoples have always been here, and as the First Peoples, all of us have a role to play in reconciliation, whether we're settlers or immigrants to this wonderful country. It's hard to believe that it was about 2 years ago now that we were all here celebrating the 10th anniversary of Sinflex and the terrific work that Sinflex does as a media organization to bridge the news and communications for the Chinese Canadian community. So a lot of congratulations to Sinflex for this terrific work that you do in the community. And now we are here with a entrepreneurship club that Sinflex has built and has created. And I think this is, and today's summit really sort of signifies the opportunity to grow trade and investment. And for Canada, growing trade and investment really starts with Canadian businesses who are operating here in Canada. And I often say that that when we have export growth, that's business growth. Business success is job creation success, and that's community success for Canadians. Canada is very much a trading nation. 1 out of 6 jobs in Canada is related to trade. 2/3 of our economy is related to trade. So trade is really important to the Canadian economy because that is who we are as Canada. And today, we export over $1 trillion to the global economy. And if I look at where Canada is at the moment, we are very enviable. We're very enviable as a rules-based country that has some really important trade agreements around the world, giving Canadian businesses access to over 1.5 billion customers in the world. And we continue to negotiate even more agreements in, in different parts of the world. Right now, we have access to about over 51 countries, and if you think about the important economic zones of of the globe, Canada is right here in the heart of North America. So a really important trading agreement with the United States and Mexico through the NAFTA. We call it the new NAFTA now, but if you're Canada, you call it CUSMA. If you're in the U.S., you call it USMCA. If you're in Mexico, you call it TMEC. But for simplicity, I will call it NAFTA 2.0. Canada also has a trading agreement with the European Union through a comprehensive, high-quality agreement through partners in the EU. And we also trade with the CPTPP countries that are a number of countries along the Pacific Rim, because Canada, as a Pacific nation, trades with countries through the CPTPP. Many economies, of course, on this side, it's Canada and Mexico and Peru and Chile. And on the other side of the Pacific, it's countries like Japan and Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and others that are in the agreement. And I have, over the course of the last year, have spent a lot of time on the plane to the Indo-Pacific. In particular, we are at the negotiating table right now with the 10 countries that make up the ASEAN, and we are at bilateral negotiations with Indonesia. So a lot of work where Canada is diversifying its trade to partners around the world. And I often say to Canadians trade leading with Canadian values, and we are a country that that is a terrific place for investors to come in. We're known as a safe, democratic, and a country that respects the rule of law. And next year, I'm going to be quite busy. In fact, I start a trade mission at the end of this month to Japan. And next year, I will be in 5 key markets in the Indo-Pacific. I'll be in South Korea, I'll be in Vietnam, I'll be in Malaysia, I'll be in Philippines, and I'll be in Indonesia. So those are the 5 markets, and I see some colleagues here from Latin America and from the CARICOM as well. And last year I had some very productive visits, trade missions into the Caribbean as well. and have done trade missions, both virtual and in person in 2020, but virtually over the last 3 years. And yesterday I was at Africa Accelerate. So what I'm trying to describe to everyone is that Canada very much is a trading nation. And my job as Canada's Minister for Economic Development and for International Trade is to continue to support the businesses that are here in Canada. So small and medium-sized businesses, women-owned businesses, new immigrant businesses, youth-owned businesses, because our view is that if we can help businesses get into markets and those that often are underrepresented in our economy, we will create greater jobs. And we will, and those greater jobs are good for community, and it's good for Canada. So I think Sinflex sort of, and your motto says it right, which is let's connect, let's share and inspire. So merci beaucoup tout le monde. Je suis très heureuse d'être ici avec vous. And thank you so much. And I look forward to being back at Sinflex another time. And I will beg my regards to everyone because they booked a back-to-back schedule. So I'm glad that I had an opportunity to say hi to you, Patrick, and to many of the guests that are here, and of course Amanda Colucci, my wonderful colleague from Markham. So it's really terrific to be here, and all the very best, and have a good 3-day conference. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for your support. This is just a 1 minute photo for all the group. So welcome all the speakers from this morning's session. Please welcome on stage to have a group picture all together. No, just, okay, you have to go. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the great support. I know that it is quite busy schedule for the minister for taking their time out of your busy schedule to come to our economic summit. And I'm sure that we will going to have a very successful conversations and collaborations due to this event. And ladies and gentlemen, let's just move on to the next session. Since our journey get into the realms of the entrepreneurship, innovations, and international trade, and it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce an advocate for entrepreneurship in China and in Canada. And he is also the driving force behind all today's successful summit. And please welcome the president of Sinflex Entrepreneur Club. And he is also the co-founder of the North American Ecosystem Institute Impact, Mr. Victor Gao, on stage to share a few words with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, greeting to you all. I'm Victor Gao, the rotating chairman of the Sinflex Entrepreneur Club. On behalf of Sinflex Entrepreneurship Club, I extend a warm and a hearty welcome to each one of you present at 2023 Autumn Economic and Trade Summit. A heartfelt thank you to all of our invaluable co-organizers, the Sinflex Media Group, the Canadian Chinese Finance Association, and the Justin Point Agency. Your unwavering commitment and robust support has been instrumental to this event. Our journey began in June 2022 with the Sinflex Entrepreneurship Club being an initiative by the Sinflex Media Group. With its rich heritage in politics, business, and culture, the club was envisioned as a beacon of entrepreneurs in Canada and even larger regions. Our goal to construct a superior social circle, amplify brands, foster collaborations. As our roots dug deeper in Canada, our influence radiated globally, touching shores from mainland China to Hong Kong, Taiwan, from Latin America to Southeast Asia. This summit, following the footsteps of our landmark Spring Economic and Trade Summit, seeks to bring together the crème de la crème of business elites and political stalwarts from not just Canada, but also worldwide. Together, we will embark on a journey, deciphering challenges, unlocking opportunities, and blueprinting the future of global trade and investment. This grand confluence will witness luminaries sharing insights, sparking debates, and kindling ideas on new consumer patterns, educational advancements, trade trends, and investment insights. A special mention to Mr. of Export Promotions, International Trade and Economic Development, the Honorable Mary Ng, who just delivered a wonderful speech, and have her supports always been the bedrock since our Spring Summit. And also a very special spotlight on Ms. Linda Wang, chairwoman of Yihai Group. As a pioneer in Chinese real estate industry, her vision has been nothing short of transformative. And we were also privileged to host an array of distinguished personalities to attend this event during the following 3 days. Their presence here is not just a testament to our summit's significance, but also the vital roles in shaping the economic landscape of Greater Toronto Area. In a poetic words, stars sprawling across vast plains, and the moon cast is glowing over the great river. This summit captures the essence of this vibrant season. It's the time of abundance, of expertise converging, and of visions aligning. We're at the crossroad of a new era, pulsating with new trends and brimming with fresh opportunities. I invite all of you to delve deep, engage, enrich this platform with your insights. Let's make the next 3 days not only just the confluence of minds, but also a fusion of ideas, hopes, and dreams. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the 2023 Autumn and Economic Trade Summit. Thank you all.
Thank you, our president. And we know this summit has received 3 levels government political leaders' great support. And I have just seen that the MPP Vincent Ke has arrived in person. So let's welcome MPP Vincent on stage to share a few words with us first. Is that okay?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Vincent. I'm the member of Provincial Parliament for Don Valley North. Thank you for Sinflex Media and Sinflex Entrepreneur Club for inviting me to share in this important second annual Economic and Trade Summit. So I welcome to this opportunity to acknowledge this influential event that Sinflex bring the Sinflex members and stakeholders, entrepreneurs, and government representatives together. In an atmosphere of cooperation and celebration, this summit provides a warm and inclusive platform to participate, to have meaningful dialogue on the critical issues. Together, we have an opportunity to discuss trends that shape the current economic landscape. As we explore solutions and seek new opportunities to build meaningful connection through relevant and resourceful networks, we will grow and learn from one another. The second annual Autumn Economic and Trade Summit encourages continued communication and cooperation in the field of business, commerce, trade, and culture to advance mutual socio-economic well-being. It is an instrumental experience for small business entrepreneurs as they continue to contribute their time and talent to boost the economy, broaden horizon, and deepen the cooperative experience. Your collective efforts help to build our beautiful province as a multicultural success story that highlights our Canadian value of diversity and inclusion. I want to thank Sinflex and everyone attending this exceptional event. Remember to seek the best in yourself and others. You will find it. So my best wishes and congratulations on presenting a successful and worldwide event. Thank you. So you have a wonderful 3 days event.
Thank you so much for the generous support. Thank you. Please be seated. We know that Ontario is a driving force in Canada's economic arena, but Markham, the city where we are, is also a very hardcore economic developers. And we also have the greetings from our city, Markham City's mayor, Mr. Frank Scarpitis. He is very, very busy, so he cannot come in person right now, but he did send his greeting by the VCR.
Hello, I'm Mayor Frank Scarpitti, Sejong Shikaping from the city of Markham. I'm honored to be a part of the Shinflix 2023 Autumn Economic and Trade Summit. First, a big thank you to the key organizers, the Shinflix Entrepreneur Club and the Justin Poi Agency. Taking on a starring role in this high-profile event are Patrick Hung, James Wang, and Justin Poi, event chair. Your leadership, hard work, and dedication have created an incredible networking opportunity for industry leaders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and key stakeholders. For 3 whole days, attendees will draw inspiration from expert keynote speakers and gain valuable insight on how to best navigate today's challenging global environment. Markham leads the way in business and economic innovation. Markham's Innovation District, The Mix, has already captured the interest of an exciting cluster of entrepreneurs. I'm also proud of Markham's business-friendly environment, the lowest taxes in the GTA, and excellent resources for startups. When York University Markham campus opens next year, a new wave of graduates will contribute to our city's dynamic economic growth and prosperity. I've always encouraged entrepreneurs. I support your brilliant ideas, talent, knowledge, courage, innovative skills, and high energy. The Shinflix Economic and Trade Summit gives you one more ideal opportunity to connect with local and global success in Markham. So take advantage of all the summit has to offer. I wish all of you continued success.
We know that the economic development and the prosperity, it is all due to the multicultural entrepreneurship and talents. And now we have a very honored, distinguished guest to join us now. He is a member of the House of the Commons of Canada, and also he is a parliamentary secretary to the Minister of the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship, Mr. Pao Chen. Welcome, Mr. Pao Chen, on stage to present his remarks.
Good morning. It's so good to see you all this morning. 大家好，我是蒋振宇，万金如人村的国会议员，然后呢是移民难民公民的国会秘书。谢谢大家，谢谢 Patrick 跟James 黄安排这个这么大的这个 Trade Summit。所以我真正感谢参加你们的今天这个活动。My name is Paul Chang. I'm the Member of Parliament for Markham Unionville, as well as the Parliamentary Secretary for Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship. I'm so happy to join you here today for the 2023 Autumn Economic and Trade Summit. I'm grateful for all the work that Patrick Hung and James Wang has done to promote economy of the GTA and economy of Markham here. So as Mayor Scarpetti has just mentioned, Markham is one of the best places to work. But I also want to add that Markham is also the friendliest city in all of Canada. There was a stats done, and it was released last month that Markham is the friendliest city. And Councillor Amanda Colucci is here. She would attest to that. We are the very, very friendly people, and we're always open for business. So for those of you who are here to invest in Markham, we welcome you, and I'm happy to work with you. If there's anything I can do from my office as a member of Parliament, please do reach out to me, and maybe we can work together and create the economic growth that we will love to have in Markham Unionville. Again, I'm very, very happy to be here this morning, and with all of you lovely people. I can see lots of, thank God the lights are not too bright. I can see a lot of people sitting in the room. And this I believe would be a very, very successful event, and I commend Patrick for all the work that he has done, and I'm happy our MC Maggie is doing such a wonderful job here today. So thank you again for inviting me. I would love to, my friend Justin Poi. So please, Patrick, if I could ask you to come up, I have a greeting letter I would like to present to you.
那同时也邀请我们新动力企业家俱乐部的荣誉主席王琳达女士和我们的轮值主席高超先生一起上台来接受我们的贺信。再次感谢。Thanks again for the MP Pao Chang's great support for this event. I know you work day and night. It is the morning, so you come to the right time and the right place. Thanks again for your great support. Please be seated. Thank you. As our mayor, as our MP, as our MPP has mentioned, how wonderful the Markham is. So all the distinguished guests, if you have a business idea, if you have an entrepreneurship, you want to open up your business, please think up the Markham as your #1 choice. And let's welcome our city councilor, Ms. Amanda Colucci, to tell you why you should do this. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amanda Young Colucci, Ward 6 Councilor at City of Markham. 大家好，上午好，下午好。我是万城市第6区的市议员杨启兴。So I'm not only a councillor at City of Markham, but I'm also the vice chair of economic development and culture, and also the chair of environmental and sustainability as well. So from a City of Markham standpoint, all of you have already heard earlier from our mayor, Frank Scarpitti, as that we have the lowest tax rate increase in City of Markham, which also is a great benefit for lots of businesses to land here to set up their headquarters. So that include IBM, Motorola, Aviva, Huawei, and also among many, many other major corporations as well. Not to mention that City of Markham has one of the lowest tax rate increase, but our transportation network and our road network is also providing a huge advantage from a supply chain perspective. Well, this year, we are focusing on auto tech, semiconductor, and not to mention about as the high-tech capital of Canada, we have tremendous innovation happening in City of Markham. So on top of that, just like our mayor has mentioned, that York University will be opening up next year, which will also provide way more education and also innovation bringing to the City of Markham as well. One of the reasons why our mayor is not able to attend today's event and also the 3-day summit is because he is currently on a trade mission. So speaking of which, that we are currently and actively always looking for more business ideas and attracting investment as well. And he is currently in California attending a trade summit and also visiting other opportunities, including I know that they just went to visit an Amazon movie studio. And having said that, not only with trade, we're also very focusing on culture development as well. So attracting a movie studio here is going to be a huge deal. Where are we going to land? I don't know, but it takes hard work and determination to find those opportunities and seek those type of investment as well. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having such a great summit. I know that just listening to our counterpart from a federal perspective, clearly international investment and trade is very important, but at the same time, growing regionally investment it is also critical for the success of any of the city. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having this trade summit right here in Markham. Congratulations to Sinflex and also Sinflex Entrepreneur Club and also Justin Poi Agency for hosting such a wonderful event here. And I hope that with these 3 days, we will have a lot of discussions and also to come up with certain and great ideas that we can execute. So thank you so much and have a wonderful summit, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I always cannot find a better advocate for our city other than Amanda. So thank you so much. And if you have interest to want to invest, no matter it is a high technology or it is a art and a culture, come to us because here we have MP, we have MPP, and we have a city councilor. If there is no door, they will open a window for you. Okay, so without further ado, we do have another very distinguished guest that we want to introduce and invite on stage to share a few words with us. And she is Miss Hazel Hernandez. He is the Consul General of the El Salvador. Always a good friend of our global summit. And please welcome.
Distinguished delegates, it is an honor to be here to talk about how we can strengthen our ties with Canada and China as well. First of all, I would like to say thank you to invite me to this event. And I'm very pleased to participate to talk about El Salvador. The government of President Nayib Bukele promotes initiatives mainly focused on strengthening the economy and development of the Salvadoran population. In this regard, I would like to highlight that our country has trade agreements with more than 40 countries in America, Europe, and Asia, which give us a projection of reaching more than 1.2 billion customers. In addition, we're promoting public policies to support the productive sectors, such as the trade and investment policy to take advantage of these free trade agreements, the plan for economic development, the master plan for agricultural rescue, specifically for the transformation and sustainable development of coffee. As part of our commitment to attract foreign investment, we have implemented a system of tax incentives, including custom duties and the import of taxes of equipment using the products of goods and services. In particular, the presidency of Nayib Bukele has been visionary in the development of aeronautics, agricultural industry, energy, manufacturing, and tourism. Therefore, we're currently implementing a series of strategic projects that seeks to boost the country's economic growth and increase foreign investment, based on the establishment of greater connectivity and the expansion of the country's development poles. Among the initiatives that are placing us in the global spotlight are the Pacific Plan, which includes the modernization of the port of Acajutla, the Pacific Train, Pacific Airport, road infrastructure, and Surf City. The doors for the trade with China and Canada continue to generate more and better opportunities. My country is open to generate business with strategic partners, and we know that this space is a great opportunity to make our economies grow even more. I would also like to take the opportunity to talk about a temporary worker program that my country has. This program aims to promote the hiring of Salvadorans to work as temporary workers here. Has been successful, so I would like to present to you this program. If some of the companies lacking of temporary workers, we can also assist with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Hazel. It is always nice to hear Hazel's presentation because the more we know each other, the more opportunities that we can dig out and found the opportunity to work together for a golden investment opportunities, employment from all kinds of the sectors. So Now let's move on to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention again, because it is my great honor to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed title sponsor, Equiton. And Equiton is a leading force in making high-quality private real estate investing in Canada, investing in people and investing in our communities. That has been a very, very important in making today's event possible as well. 那各位贵宾，我们今天这样一场盛大的经贸论坛的举办成功，当然毫无疑问的离不开我们所有赞助商朋友们的鼎力支持。那我们今天的冠名赞助商的代表来自 Equiton 的我们这个加拿大行业界的标杆性的私募股权房地产投资公司私人资本市场东亚部的副总裁李维先生呢，也接下来会给我们分享几句。So welcome the Associate Vice President of the Equiton Inc., Mr. Li Wei, on stage to share a few words with us.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Because it's so hard to be following up on all these distinguished guests and speakers. Not to mention, I didn't prepare my speech in English. I actually just chicken scratched something here. But it is a great honor to join this great summit representing Equiton and as the title sponsor. So Equiton is a private equity real estate investment firm that's 100% owned by Canadians and operated in Canada here. We are headquartered in Burlington, and we just opened our new headquarters on Bay Street in downtown Toronto. But I just heard our advocates for Markham. So it is absolutely great. It's a friendly city. It's great for business, and that is why I keep coming here for business, right? So I extend my invitation to all our distinguished guests here to visit us in Burlington and in Toronto, and we'll see how we can collaborate in the future. Between Equiton and the city of Markham. But as a firm, Equiton's vision and goal are to break down the barriers and give access to all Canadians the access to institutional grade real estate assets. We are targeting 8% to 12%, to 20% annual net returns, and through two different investment options. One being REITs, real estate investment trusts, and we are also a developer. So maybe we can, collaborate in the future in the form of doing developments here in Markham. Right? So, and then I'll be giving my speech in the next part in Chinese. That's what I prepared. 亲爱的各位来宾和嘉宾，大家好，我叫李威，是现任在 Equiton Capital 私人资本市场东亚部副总裁。今天非常开心可以代表 Equiton 来参加我们这次2023年秋季的经贸论坛，更加荣幸呢可以作为我们的冠名赞助商来支持合作这次重大的盛会。Equiton 呢是一家私募股权的房地产投资公司，我们致力于提供新式的房地产投资方式，以便加拿大所有的家庭都能参与到这种大型的机构级别的房地产投资中来，以无需承担贷款风险、无需承担经营管理风险，以及被动省心的方式呢，参与房地产的投资，让投资人可以稳定的积累财富，省心、省时、省力。在您完全无需承担主动投资所带来的种种风险的前提下，我们的两种被动投资呢，每年预计的回报可以达到8%到20%。我们的展位在6号，欢迎各位有心把自己的家庭投资组合多元化、去风险的投资人来我们的展位详聊。在这里，我预祝我们2023年 Equiton 投资经贸论坛峰会能够圆满举办成功。谢谢。
谢谢李总给我们峰会的大力的支持，也谢谢你给我们提供的这种绝佳的投资机会啊，让大家可以用被动省心的方式让我们的财富 up. So thanks Equiton to the great support for our summit, and as your company's slogan, we know what to buy to generate values for our investor, and as the Sinflix Media and the Sinflix Entrepreneur Club, we know what to present to generate values for all our audience. So thank you again. And now, without further ado, let's just have our first round of the panel discussion, a conversation that could host the immense significance in the realm of international and regional trade and economic development. And now, allow me to introduce our great esteemed panelists on stage. So first, let's welcome the president of Sinflix Entrepreneur Club, and also he is a co-founder of the North American Ecosystem Institute, Mr. Victor Gao on stage. And our second panelist, she is Monica Linez, and she is the chair of the Windows 2 Latin American and also Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Monica. And the third one is Mr. Benson Lau. He is the director of the business development, Fua Fua. I have personally been there, a very delicious and emerging, very promising food industry company. And the last but not least, our panel discussion will be moderated by an award-winning advertising guru that he has built his career in the context of Canada's celebrated diversity, the president and the creative director of Justin Poi Agency. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all our distinguished panelists and our moderator on stage. They were going to bring us Selling Canada, the strategies for international and regional trade. Where is our applause? 接下来呢，我们将会开始我们第一轮的 panel discussion。那再一次呢，非常荣幸的为大家介绍一下我们的各位嘉宾和我们的这一场 panel discussion 的这个主持人。那首先呢，是我们新动力企业家俱乐部的当值的我们的这个主席，同时他自己呢也是一位资深的公关人士、专业人士，我们的高超老师。那第二位嘉宾呢，是我们福娃一位非常非常有名的本地的知名的餐饮企业的我们的 General Director Benson 老先生。那第三位呢，我们知道我们今天的盛会是非常 diverse 的 ，We have Monica。她是我们西班牙西语社区非常知名的这个企业和商界联盟的代表，有请 Monica。那最后呢，为大家隆重介绍的就是我们的 Justin Poi， 我们在多伦多加拿大非常非常知名的 marketing 的专家，一个 super connectors。So 我们接下来呢将会在20到30分钟之内呢去聆听他们给我们发表的专业的洞见，希望我们可以一起呢通过他们的分享来了解更多的我们可以期待的掘金机会。So now, stage is yours.
But I always like to start first by the audience getting to know the panelists a little bit. So perhaps we could start with you, Benson. Please tell us a bit about yourself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My name is Benson. So I'm the co-founder of Fua Fua Pancakes. So we started the business in Toronto in 2018. And now we have about almost like 20 locations across Canada. But we are also expanding our business to overseas to Paris, China, Europe, and also like UK and US. So in the next 2 weeks, our first location in USA will be opened in Orlando. And then coming up with New York, Miami, Atlanta, and Texas. So I'm very happy to meet you all and actually getting the support from, the Entrepreneurial Club, and so that like we can grow the brand and continuously representing, like Canadian small businesses to expand overseas. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for Justin for hosting the panel. Victor Gao, as I introduced earlier, I'm the rotating chairman for Sinflix Entrepreneur Club. for this year. But for my own business, actually, I've been in the PR sector for more than 25 years already. I used to work for the multinational company here there in China. I used to lead the PR and marketing for Nokia, if you still remember the brand, and Dell and PepsiCo. I was the first PR director for Amazon China and the first PR director for Uber China as well. So I've been engaging a lot of years with a multinational company in China. But later, actually, after my move to Canada, actually I dedicated into helping more and more Chinese company go overseas. So the company I founded with my partner about 2 years before, called Impact, North American Ecosystem Institute, who actually we've been helping more than 400 Chinese company been involving and dedicated into North American market in terms of like marketing, PR, channel, and all of the industry, actually, the food and catering industry, electronic things. So yeah, manufacturers. So very honored to be here at the panel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you very much. Oh my God, I feel so honored to be here with you guys. I'm here to represent my community, Hispanic community. I represent the Chamber of Commerce, which we help entrepreneurs to create jobs here. I've been with the Chamber for long time, 18 years, working with them to create jobs instead of coming as an immigrants to look for jobs. I'm a financial advisor, and this is part of what I used to do. And thank you very much to the opportunity to be here, and thank you for inviting me today.
Great, thank you. Well, I may as well start with you since you have the microphone up. What are some of the things that you do at the Chamber of Commerce that would be appealing to some of the members here as to how you help them and facilitate business?
Yeah, thank you. This is a great opportunity to connect. That's what we do with the Chamber of Commerce, and to create opportunities between Latin America and Canada, to promote us as a community that I see, like many today, we are a number of Latins here, and this is great too, because everything is about network and relationships. For me, business is about relationships, and this is something that you started, your community inviting us to be part of, and that's make us to be honored and to do business. I just heard that in Colombia, my country, by the way, I'm from Colombia, and just started to do business with China with meat, which is great for us because we just finally got the permission to start sending meat from our country, and we are. That's what we want to do here with our members, and not only members, is to connect with all you guys, to help each other. And there is so much information here in Canada that we as an immigrant, we don't know. So that is part of our mandate at the Chamber of Commerce, is to find out where the opportunities are and to let our community know and go over the challenges of what is to have a business here. You guys know. So yeah, we're doing well. We believe in what we're doing, and
your Chamber of Commerce represents multiple Latin American countries?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And which are some of the biggest economies that you represent right now?
From some of the...
From the Latin American countries, what are some of the biggest economies you represent?
You mean the business?
Yeah, some of the biggest economies out of the countries that you represent, out of the Latin American countries.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. Colombia, is this what you asked? Colombia, we have members from Venezuela, right now, big from Dominican Republic, the Caribbean, and Mexico to Salvador. Okay, all like yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. So, Victor, the the Shimflix Entrepreneur Club has really picked up since you started it, and it started during COVID, right? I mean, was it?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, last year.
Great. And how many members do you have now?
More than 100 already.
More than 100. So, what are some of the activities that that you feel that you would like to do that you haven't had a chance to do yet with the club that you'd like to get into that would further help entrepreneurs develop their businesses and grow?
So first of all, we rooted ourselves and based in the Chinese community at the first place. So one of the things, I mean, because of the COVID, of course, that actually we might have the chance to bridge more, Chinese entrepreneurs with our Canadian Chinese entrepreneur in terms of the community. So actually, as I said, I've been engaging in China for more than 2 decades. So I think one thing, to your questions, if one thing I could do more is I could help more and more Chinese Canadian company to kind of connect it with the Chinese, in the China market. So. I think there's all of us actually been noticed about the trends that more and more Chinese entrepreneurs companies trying to go overseas and abroad, and they're willing to know more about our market in Canada. And at the same time, our community here and entrepreneurs here in Canada is eager to learn more about China market as well at the same time. So I think one of the most valuable kind of a platform that we could establish on the bilateral business trades, as we one of the themes that we discuss in the coming days, is about how we could build up the more smooth and because my expertise in the communications, so that communication is actually the foundations for all of the business. So I think one more thing I might be able to do is to create more opportunities and chances for the bilateral communications with the entrepreneurs communities. I mean, in China and also Canada. Yeah.
Great. We heard Minister Ng talking about the Indo-Pacific strategy, the relationship that Canada has with the ASEAN countries. What would you say are some of the favorable conditions right now and trade policies that we have in Canada that would benefit members that are either looking to go overseas or from overseas companies looking at Canada as a place to expand to? What are some of those favorable conditions that we have right now?
First of all, I think one of the themes that we've been always kind of a broadcast is every company, when we do business in the local market, we call it localization themselves. I mean, it means during the past years that I work with multinational companies in China. One of the topic we've always been engaging is the Chinese government trying to tell them that they have to localize themselves in China market. But nowadays, actually, we see if more and more Chinese companies trying to go overseas, like a North American market, they have to localize themselves as well. So. And also at the same time, when we're doing the globalizations, I mean the globalize themselves as Fuwa been doing. As you mentioned that you're trying to enter the U.S. market, that's a different market as well. So one of the topic you have to think about is how to localize yourself into that market. So to your questions, Justin, that I think one of the conditions, although we see a very challenging environment recently and the bilateral politically, but still we think the business level, actually, they have the chance to, in terms of the fund, in terms of the trade, in terms of the commerce. I think all of them have the willing, at least they have the willing to understand each other. I mean, that means if by saying that, I mean, if those kind of if the China market is still the most priority market for themselves, they don't really even take a look at our overseas market. But now they have to see one of the localization strategy is most of the the top priority for most of the Chinese companies. So they have to understand the overseas market. I think this is the education itself. I mean, education about the overseas market for those Chinese companies is the best condition that we could face, and this is the opportunity from here. So I think one of the best condition that we're facing is more and more kind of potential partners in China market have the opportunity to look into us. I mean, they'll have the chance to build up the relations. Although there's a challenge as well, but the Canada is the one of the most important country for immigration. So that brings a lot of interest for the talent that going to the Canadian market. So I think during the past 10 years or something, one of the challenges for entrepreneurs in Canada is it's very difficult, hard for them to find the talent here, local and with the local operations experiences with the global visions. But with this kind of a trend, I think more and more talents going to Canada, and we have more options in terms of the talent and candidates. So I think that's a better condition.
Great, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you. So Benson, so Fuafua, a lot of Canadians, especially in business, feel that we're almost too nice and we're too apologetic, and we shouldn't be so bold as to say we're going to expand internationally and globally, and we're all very humble here. But tell me, you have really built a company that has reached out all over the world, and you're doing so well in Europe. Number one, first of all, tell me what was your vision for Fuafua when you first started? Where you are now, was this where you thought you would be?
In the beginning, I thought I was gonna just start in Canada, but going back to Asia. But after I stationed here, I feel like the market is very huge in North America, not just in China. So I think what I can really contribute is to serve as an example that, like with the Canadian, maybe the legislation, the immigrations, and, it's not a lot of competition here. So if we stay here, if the politics is stable, as it is now, then we have a lot of opportunities to actually expand to other countries because they are sharing this very similar marketing channels, very similar legislations. It's easy to globalize. And, if we travel to New York or we travel to any East Coast, it's only maybe 45 minutes flight. So I think it's a very convenient spot, stationing in Toronto, to expand, to other developed countries.
A lot of Canadian companies, when they decide to expand across the border, their first thought is, well, I may as well go to our largest trading partner, the U.S. What was your thought process in going to European countries first?
Actually, I didn't choose to go where first. It's just, I follow the flow, and when some opportunity comes, I just try my best to.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So was it UK that you went into first?
Yeah, we went to UK first, but it was during the COVID, North America is kind of closed. Yeah. Actually, during that time, I went back to China and opened a shop in Shenzhen as well. I just feel like as an entrepreneur, I'm just too bored to just sit here and wait. So I just like traveling around and look for opportunities. So I think that just happened naturally.
Maybe Latin American for the next step, right?
Yeah, that could be possible, yeah.
So, when you first opened in Toronto, you obviously had done your market studies and, there's a demand for the product. How do you go about doing your market research? This is a very unique product you have, these fluffy Japanese pancakes. How do you go about doing your market research to figure out the demand before? Because all the countries you're in are very different. How do you go about doing your market research?
I think first of all, it's really about passion too. So I follow my passion first. So before I do too many market research, so I did do some research because I was not born in Canada. I was born in Hong Kong and I studied in the States. But then I actually checked out the environment. I did some competitor research and find out that there's a market gap within the dessert industry. I feel like Toronto is a place where they accept diversity as well and multicultural. So if something that is, kind of the DNA from Hong Kong is the East meet the West. And I think Toronto is sharing the same kind of DNA. So where we have all kind of immigrants here, and they always want to, check out what's happening in Korea, what is happening there in Japan. Whereas people from Asia, they always look at what it's doing in the West. So if I'm doing something that is a modern touch onto a traditional product, let's say pancake is a traditional product, and having the modern touch is becoming a new product, like the souffle pancakes, I think it will work in a place where they accept multicultural diversity. Yeah.
So do you find that in Europe they have that sort of same East meets West mentality?
I think we find our model particularly successful in places where there are different nations. And right now it's about globalization. It's a lot of people can travel into different places. So when I go to, let's say, UK, like they have a lot of East Asian as well. So, and then also, of course, a lot of local people who would eat pancakes. So doing something that tailor-made for a combination of both will be the like trend, like for the food industry, and especially when nowadays it's about like photo eat first, right? Like, so.
Now, in your country, in Colombia, are you seeing some similar trends as you see here in Canada when it comes to diverse products, diverse food, and things like that?
Yes, I've been here for 22 years, but I used to go twice a year to my country. And of course, we are, Canada is, as like I always say, is going faster, and after United States also.
You just said that recently China has opened up the beef industry for Colombia, right? The
Yes.
cattle industry.
Yes.
Were there restrictions before to trading beef?
Yes, of course. There is, and I know there are many opportunities for Latin America we have a lot of, we're very rich, our countries in Latin America are very rich in many of the products, the agricultural and also food products. But there are many challenges with the permits and from us, which I just recently listened in the news from Colombia. I heard that, which is really, really good for our economy in Colombia to start doing the export meat to China. Yes, so it's what we're looking for. Yes, we need to do business. I'm so grateful that we are here. We are opening doors for business between our community and your community. So
what are some of the, I mean, if there's some manufacturers and exporters in the room here as part of the club, what are some of the trends and products that Latin American countries are looking for that are sort of top priority that people could export from Canada to Latin American countries? What are some of those top products or services that they're looking for?
Oh, this is tough to answer. Because as you know, technology, innovation, we are always looking for that. And I can say that even that we are in the South, we receive many of those. I will say, yeah, everything that here is, I cannot tell you.
Hard to
right
pick
now.
one thing.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of business growth for entrepreneurs, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that just want to grow domestically. They want to, be the biggest in Canada and whatnot. There's no problem with that. Well, at what point do you recommend that companies start looking outside their borders? Because, there's many entrepreneurs that start looking outside their borders before they've even achieved big enough success locally. Do you feel that they can start doing that, or that you really have to know your game locally first?
That's a great question, Justin. Actually, it's a dilemma for most of the entrepreneurs thinking about their strategy in the future. So, as you said, actually, for most of the entrepreneurs that we've been working with in Canada, of course, the first priority for them is actually how they grow their business locally in Canada. Because even for the Chinese community, the entrepreneur thinking about how we can do business not only for Chinese community but for the mainstream market, that would be 10 times fold for their growth locally even, right? So they still have a large room for them to grow locally. But at the same time, I always discuss with a lot of friends of entrepreneurs that maybe the same level of the efforts you made in Canadian market that will help you to achieve 5 times revenue or returns in U.S. market. So first of all, like Benson mentioned about Fua. First of all, if this is the business model that you could copy in a very common practice, and also be, for example, some kind of a business model as a franchise model, that will be much easier for you to copy that into a bigger market, say U.S. market or even back in China. So I think that it quite depends on, so to your questions, I think it quite depends on the business model you're trying to build up. For the trade business, actually, definitely the advantages you're going to taking is the local advantages that you could leverage, right? Means like you have the channels for example, 80%, more than 80% of the sales in North America still focusing on offline market, offline channels. Even we're thinking about like we have the e-commerce boosting recently for the recent years, like we're talking about like a Shein, like a Temu, and also Amazon itself, and a lot of companies actually build up their Shopify website for the e-commerce. But still in Canada, like e-commerce only obtain like more than less than 15% of the whole GMV for the market. So if we're talking about like expanding your business in the offline model, that means like you're building up your offline channel resources or network here in Canada. Definitely the answer is like prioritize your business here in local market first. But business like Fua's business, like the supply chain, all of the supply chain, the franchise model, or the partners, or the investment, they're going to build up in the very kind of a universal business model. I would recommend that you guys thinking a bigger, kind of a map of your empire in other markets, because maybe, as I said, you earn like 5 times money, even you are making the same efforts into a business model. So it's not a yes and no kind of questions, but it quite depends on the business model you're thinking about. So for most of the, and also we're talking about, we have Lina Wang here, so looking for the real estate project in Canada. So definitely the construction business, the real estate related company, construction business, definitely they're thinking about the local market first. So this is pretty much like geographic advantages you could take up. For us, I mean, for the consulting, as Justin yourself, I think we could benefit a lot if we could support like the company expanding their business both in locally and also North America, even back in China. So I think that would be the, that may be my 2 cents to consider about, mapping your business.
A lot of people don't realize that Canada is so strong in so many areas, especially, not the type of business that maybe your parents wanted you go into when you were growing up, like the film industry. We have such a strong film industry here. I mean, look at everything that's cranking out of CBS Studios out in the West End. You just turn on Netflix and I guarantee you watch at least 2 or 3 shows, you're going to recognize Toronto in most of them. We've got a bustling automotive industry, especially automotive parts. What are some industries, Victor, that you think that entrepreneurs are not paying enough attention to, where there's an opportunity for growth in Canada?
I would say AI. So, of course, people thinking about like this is something the cutting edge area for states. But actually, as Justin introduced, actually AI, artificial intelligence, is actually one of the most advanced core, field, the core business or core technology that rooted from Canada. Those kind of creative business actually will be revoluted by AI very recently, right? We're paying more attention on AI applications, all the solutions. I think that will be the areas that be closer enough to this industry than your industry or even your jobs could be kind of limited by the technology. So you have to think about how our industry could be merged, how industry could be leverage the AI powers. So I think that would be the area that you mentioned. You mentioned that most of the people are thinking about like how we could make the trade business, but we're thinking about the technology. Imagine that how technology could change us. So that would be the area we should pay enough attention on. Yeah.
Benson, in your business, I mean, does technology and innovation play a role?
Yeah, I think right now in the food industry, I think it's about the data collection. So not going too far to the AI aspect. So I think a lot of data, like in China, is used widely, but not in a lot of countries still. So like if we talked about like AI, but before that, what is up and coming, I think it's more about automation and data collection, and also maybe health, because I still think that like perhaps like there is a lot of aspect that maybe we can live until like 150 years old, right? But a lot of people still think that this is impossible. But what if it is possible, right? Like, so there's a lot of aspect we can do, and people will pay for it. If I can, work on something that can help you to live like 20 more years or 30 more years, right? Would you pay? You would pay anything to do that, yeah, right? So I think that is another good business.
That's interesting. Yeah. Great. So we're almost out of time. I'd just like to maybe go down the panel and give 1 or 2 last remarks for our audience. There are, mostly entrepreneurs in the room. What is something that you can say to them, especially on behalf of the chamber, so they can come up and talk to you afterwards?
But I also wanted to make an invitation to all of you guys to Latin America. Now that I have this opportunity, is to invite you because the industry of tourism in Latin America is great. Something that you won't find here in North America. So it's what I want to leave with you today, and is go to Latin America, visit not only what you heard from TV, just talk to locals, talk to us, and go there and find the great food, gastronomy, and all that places, exotic places that we have, and meet all of us, which we are a great community.
Great, thank you. Victor?
So everyone thinking about actually we're facing unprecedented crisis or challenges nowadays. But remember, I would mention about one of the quotes from Winston Churchill: "Never waste a good crisis." So the crisis name actually means opportunity. So Churchill tells us actually, thinking about look through down into the crisis, and you can find the opportunity as well. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And Benson?
Yeah, I actually want to make 2 points here. First of all, if you want better health, I think fuwa dessert is a very good option because our pancake is made with no preservative, no additives, and also high protein, low sugar. But then the second thing is that I think what we can bring the value to the members here or the people who attend these conferences, because there are people who is from Latin America, and there is people talents who is very good with knowledge with entering China. And I also have experience, and same as Justin, right, to expand businesses overseas to a global networks, right? So I think we can all learn from each other and grow together and achieve a win-win situation. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you for all the wonderful speakers, panelists, and Justin. And thank you for sharing your invaluable insight and expertise on this promoting Canada and promoting Canadian companies to all of us. And I believe your knowledge, your experience have truly inspiring for all of us. And we are really, really grateful for all your contributions in the sharing in this engaging discussion. And we do have a bonus. We know that Fuwa has sponsored the breakfast and lunch for that, so for sure you will taste the pancake from Fuwa today. And we know we are an economic and the trade summit, so wherever the opportunity goes, the entrepreneur goes. With the platform and helps of organizations as Sinflix Media, Sinflix Entrepreneur Club, and also the Chamber of the Commerce, different trade associations, and especially the elite professionals like Justine or like Victor, then all the entrepreneur, probably all the ventures can go even further and even better. We know that Justine has a very famous slogan, everyone loves Maryland, right? So if everyone loves Fuwa, I think you probably will make another billion. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to the next session because I don't want to stand in between you and the Fuwa's pancake. Let's welcome Ms. Marianne Lazantes, the founder and also the CEO of the Global Startups. Welcome, Mariana, on stage to share a few words with us.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here today. And I would like to also, express my gratitude to Patrick for the invitation. But I represent a company that is called Global Startups. We are an international accelerator. And what I'm going to talk here very briefly, so you guys don't have to wait for lunch, is going to be about market fit. It's one of the most important things that, I see over and over when we are speaking with startups from all over the world. Just recently, I was the CEO for Latin Startups, a Latin American-based community, which is today Global Startups. And the reason why we changed it was because, precisely we are getting international startups from all over the place and not just from Latin America. Okay. So I wanted to start this presentation with some important statistics about emerging markets because I think it's important for you guys to know, the potential really, and you probably know, you are all probably from emerging markets, 86% of global consumers live in developing countries. We know that the potential is amazing. From my home region, 140 million people works in a very informal economy, which also represents a big potential. And then, R&D, what is research and development, is pretty high in what is Asia right now. And one statistic that it was also important is that by 2021, emerging markets share environmental, social, and governance product, has increased. This is important because it's kind of matching up what is happening in mature markets, and this is bringing us a new generation of products and services for the future. So as I mentioned before, in our accelerator, based here in Toronto, we are just one block from the CN Tower, so just come and visit us anytime. We serve many types of startups. And you may think that startups are just those that have a great idea in mind, but it's not just that, they are entrepreneurs. Most of these companies are expanding from their home countries. Some of these companies are already $2-3 million in revenue at home. And in portfolio, we have 2 unicorns, are those companies that are valued right now over $1 billion. So, companies can grow in technology really, really fast, and this is what, our expertise is. But I want to point out some important things that we seem in the community to take as a lessons learned. What is the big difference for those companies that are starting up, and they are not going to crash, and the companies that are really making a difference and growing up big? What is the difference between that emerging market and a mature market? So the big difference, I will say, mature markets require market intelligence, require to analyze the client profile. Many people dismiss that particular very essential point about mature markets. And the reason why many startups, don't pay attention to that, especially startups that are coming from emerging markets, is because emerging economies tend to be informal. So there is no structure, or there is very little structure, and very little regulation. So startups from emerging markets really can grow, all through different type of countries and markets, because precisely they don't have that amount of regulation and structure. They don't have that amount of competition either. While, when you are talking about mature markets, there is a high level of competition. There is a high level of, expertise in different segments. So you need to know really what is your target audience in order to be successful in a mature market like, Canada, US, or Europe. Achieve success, you really have to master the cultural business difference. It's extremely important. So if any one of you haven't read this book, please write it down, because it's kind of our Bible in our community, and it's called The Cultural Map. When you read that book, you will understand business cultural difference and how companies and people should behave in different countries depending where, what are you targeting, where are you going. Okay, this one. This one I love because, many people always ask when we're coaching startups, international startups, and hey, I'm myself an entrepreneur. I founded global startups, and I founded many other companies, and I broke many other companies. So I can tell you that I understand, when people are actually putting together businesses, and when they are getting to break those businesses because, lack of support or lack of understanding of lack of a lot of things. So I passed through those failures too. I passed through a couple of successes too. But this what you see here happens over and over all the time with the startups that we have seen in our community. Why startups fail? Because of poor product market fit. The first thing that they dismiss is the market where they are going. They get very excited about, going a new country, going a new market, and they just have a friend or family there, and they think that because they have a couple of connections, they can succeed there. But it's not just that, they have dismissed the way that they are entering to that market. Of course, grow market strategies, because marketing strategies in your home country are very different from a mature market, for example. I always like to compare marketing strategies in mature markets versus emerging markets like Queen Elizabeth and Cardi B. They're very different. You have to have a very different approach, so you don't have to copy and paste one to the other. And of course, team and human resources issues. Many times, the problem with the startups tend to be like, who is in the company? Who are the co-founders? They sometimes don't talk about legal structure. They don't talk about, who they are going to hire, who is the next person that can help them. And sometimes the solo entrepreneur has to do everything. Show any interest for getting help, getting a board of directors, getting, board of advisors, people around them that can help. We have seen that problem over and over, especially in startups that are coming from emerging markets. So my question here is why this is still a thing. We all know that per statistics that startups fail for those 3 reasons, So if something for you to take away here from this presentation is a small presentation, here a small token for this amazing summit, it will be, why is that people go and make the same mistakes over and over, knowing that the company can fail on those 3 mistakes particular. So for this part, what it takes really for companies to become global, based on our experience, based on the experience that we have with companies that have been successfully going global. So here are some questions for you. What really means to you to have your business? What really means for your customers, the solution that you're bringing to the market? Are you into the infinity game? If any one of you are familiar with Simon Sinek and the Golden Globe, please read Infinite Game. It's a great book. It gives you an idea if you want to continue in the market over and over and over and competing for an infinite game. Where is your market? Your market may be not Canada. Your market may be not Asia. Your market may be Latin America. Your market may be Europe. Wherever you have your company, it doesn't mean that you have to have the market there. Have you learned from other people's failures? Please do. There are many events in the city where you can see, other startups sharing stories. We particularly in our community have something that is called Margaritas Thursday, where we have lessons learned, and you guys can come, enjoy margaritas, and hear others actually talking about, their experiences. But there is also, and sorry for the word for those that haven't heard about this event, but there's also fuck up nights, when you can hear also startups that have gone through failure, and, they share also their experiences. And, the last question here will be, how you're going to make a difference. It's important for you to be successful in this market and to not to fail and not to become another consultant and not to become another one in the market. You don't want to be in a red ocean strategy. You want to be in a blue ocean strategy. So try to look for that niche. Try to look for that essential part of your business that many other people will see and say, this is a painkiller, not a vitamin. So thank you so much. Shay.
Thank you, Mariana, and thank you so much for the insightful sharing. And I notice a lot of people are making the notes. Hope that you already get the tips from how to success and survive and development. And now let's move on to welcome another female leaders, a truly extraordinary, the former Honorable Consul General of Guyana. Let's welcome Ms. Dawn Francis.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my absolute privilege to stand here today and to gather at this prestigious Economic Trade Summit. I want to express my gratitude for the opportunity to address you as the former Honorable Consul General for Grenada. In the spring, I presented Grenada. But today I'm not presenting on behalf of Grenada, but I will tell you that Grenada is a destination you should visit. It is one of the safest islands in the Caribbean, and it's an undiscovered gem. It's only 4.5 hours flight out of Toronto, and we are open for business, investment by citizenship. We have one of the best medical schools. Our tourism is booming, and at the next summit, I promise you, you'll hear a lot more about Grenada. The importance of such a forum, especially when it comes to international and multicultural cooperation and economic trade in today's global landscape, is welcoming. I'm deeply honored and immensely grateful for the privilege of being here today at this esteemed Economic and Trade Summit. It is a tremendous honor to be invited to such a distinguished gathering, and I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Michael and Zinflex for extending this invitation to me. I would also like to take a moment to reflect on the past forums that I have been invited to, where I've had the privilege to present. These opportunities have enriched and broadened my perspective in ways I could not have imagined. I'm profoundly grateful for the chance to contribute for the collective knowledge and insight shared in these forums, and it's a testament of the power of collaboration, knowledge sharing, and the pursuit of excellence. Honor that the dedication of Zinflex Michael to work tirelessly to make these events a success. It's an entire team that it takes to make this happen. For those who have worked hard, I want to say thank you. I'm also grateful for the relationships and the connections that I have forged, and I look forward to further collaboration and knowledge exchange with all of you. In closing, I would like to reiterate my gratitude for being here today and for the opportunities I have been given to be part of these important discussions. Together, we can shape a better future through our collective efforts and shared knowledge offered by Zinflex. Thank you again for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, John. Ever since the first time I hear your presentation, I think Patrick will be the gentleman to help you. Ever since I hear the charmist Mr. John's sharing and presentation that to go to Guyana is my #1 to-do list on my next trip. And now, because we know this summit is cheer up for the diversity of the business, and we do have experts from different sectors. 那接下来呢，也让我们有请我们的另外一位赞助商的代表，我们百万酒业的董事长、贵州安酒集团加拿大总代表万斌总裁，为我们分享几句话。有请万斌总裁。
大家好。我代表中国安酒集团和加拿大百万酒业，对我们这次多伦多经贸高峰论坛的成功举行表示热烈的祝贺。在座的企业家个个顶呱呱，而我们安酒呢，这酒讲究希望大家。喜欢中国白酒，为中国白酒文化在海外市场的推广，拉海助威非常感谢利用这个平台谢谢。
谢谢万总。谢谢万总的支持啊！我们也希望有一天今天晚上可以用我们的这个来自百万酒业的好酒一起来庆功。好，那接下来呢，我们知道我们今天的贵宾呢，有来自中国，有来自温哥华，有来自 Latin American. Of course, we have the honorable guest from the East Asian country. Now let's welcome the Canada Hispanic Association Chairman. to share a few words with us. Nice to have you again.
Hello, and thank you very much for having us here today. My name is Erica Aguilera. I am the founder of Canadá Habla Español, which is a non-for-profit that promotes and preserves the Spanish language and helps liaise with the communities on our social development and economic growth within the Canadian markets. It is a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much to Synflix Media and the partners for organizing this summit and for giving us this space here just to share with you the reasons why promoting and working hand in hand together as communities and helping emerging businesses to work together is fundamental. Spanish is the second most spoken language in the world, and it's also a door opening for many possibilities, as you hear from Miriam Lasarte, which is one of our very successful examples of what community can do to grow from a startup that was just now turning into global. That is the very example of what well-put plan together can do to grow into new opportunities. Also as well, we have the emerging number of Latin American students coming to this country. That is also a great opportunity now listening to the opportunities that Markham is opening for new startups and developments for companies. International students will also play a huge factor in the growing opportunities for companies as well. We understand that technology also it's a breaking point with now artificial intelligence playing a big role. We also believe that education is also in a very important stage to develop ethical practices and development for young entrepreneurs. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you, Eric, and welcome back to Synflix. Last time we met each other is in our multicultural galas, and once you know Erica and all their Spanish friends, you know they're really a good business partner as well. You're not only to get the money, but also you will harvest the joy. 那接下来呢，也让我们再次掌声有请 Mr. Lee, the World Federation of Overseas Korea Traders Association's chairman, on stage to share a few words with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much for the Patrick Hong to invite me today. I didn't bring any script for this event, so I give you a short speech. This morning, I was surprised two things about my picture. Look young. I don't understand how to pick up that picture. That must be maybe 24 years ago from the Korean newspaper. I was there interviewed. I don't remember that picture. I was surprised. Second surprise, this event, this is the first time to attend this event. I was surprised to know that well organized, fantastic, beautiful, and great people participate in this event. I was surprised. Usually, we evaluate the event, how much valuable to us, with the 3F, 1N. You know that? Firstly, F means the future. This event can provide us the vision for our future. Second F is fun. All of the event must be interesting, fun. Third one is family, like comfortable and the kind. And the last one is very important. N means networking. With these terms of the condition, this event must be very fantastic for us. Thank you very much again. And thank you very much, Patrick Hong. And enjoy this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. You will be even surprised when you see the picture that taken by the event goal. There is a scan code, the QR code. Please scan this QR code, and all today's live streaming pictures that you could have from this event, and you will see from there. And they are using the AI to do the Photoshop. So, Mr. Lee, you will be surprised by your wonderful, handsome face. Okay, so now let's have a little bit of break between now and the afternoon session. So we will just call a curtains on this enriching and inspiring opening session of 2023 Fall Economics and Trade Summit. So I would like to thank everyone, each of you still sitting here, and we would like to invite all of you on stage to have a group picture with us and to memorize this milestone for Synflix Media, for Synflix Entrepreneur Club, and also for the 2023 Fall Economics Trade Summit. 好，我们一起 sum up，OK？ 预祝我们2023秋季论坛圆满成功，谢谢大家。